audio is, family. Audio is good. Me. Okay. I'm not seeing the chat right now. I don't know why. I'm doing this on my phone, so that's why I don't know. On my cell phone. All right, Dr. B's about to check his. That's a
Yes, let me
smart
make
thing
sure
to
it's
do.
working, you know?
Smart thing to do. Where's my chat at, y'all? Where's my chat at?
This IG?
No, this YouTube. This YouTube. All right, I'm starting to see the chat now. Okay, can y'all hear me? Is everything good with the vocals? I finally just seen y'all in the chat. Is everything good with the sound?
Yes, yes, yes.
Are we good to go, family? Oh, you can hear me. Okay, I'm good. All right, all right. Yeah, there's a little delay with the live stream, so I gotta ask Billy for his Wi-Fi. That'll probably be better. Peace, peace, family. All right, we got a master plan down here. I'm out here with Dr. B, just kicking it, and I just want to. Yeah, this thing is acting a little funny, Dr. B. Give me a second. We're gonna get it together. Give me a second. Are y'all still there? We having a little. We gonna get this together. Having a little technical difficulties. I should have connected to the Wi-Fi. It's breaking up. Video skipping. Yeah. Yeah. Let me get this together, y'all. I'm gonna connect to. You calling him?
Yeah, just hit them up.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get the Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi. It's fine. They tell me don't move a lot. Damn, it's like that. Gotta
Don't
stay
move,
still.
you see?
Gotta stay still. Yeah, we're gonna get the Wi-Fi and hopefully that could make things much better so we can have a successful live. Cause I definitely want y'all to hear what Dr. B has to say. All right, what y'all doing? Okay. All right, so listen, Dr. B, man, welcome back to the show, my brother.
Just glad to be here, man. Live, real live this
This
time.
is the real live, right? Real live.
Physically live.
Yeah, physically live, man. We in Florida, man. How you enjoying yourself down in Florida?
I like it. You know, I like this particular part of Florida is really, it's beautiful and the air is fresh. I like the ions and the energy and the
Yeah.
water. So it's very powerful, and especially being here at, Billy's spot. He's got special vortex energy going on. You know what I'm saying?
Special vortex energy, man. Listen, everybody. We said this before. Everybody thoroughly enjoyed the Blueprint for God Power workshop, and it changed a lot of lives, Dr. B. And one thing I want to say is that the job that you did on that workshop was absolutely phenomenal, and I think that that workshop took you to a new level. I think it even took you to a new level, my brother. I noticed a difference in you after that workshop, and if you could elaborate, what happened to you since that workshop to now, where I see you got like a I don't know if it's a more peaceful or more calm. I don't know how to describe the energy, but there was something a little different about you since the workshop, brother. It's like you closed a chapter in your life and you opened up a new chapter, brother. Could you explain what I might be talking about?
Well, actually, I ended up closing a book and
Uh-huh.
opened and started a whole new book in life. And there's times when you have these events that are quantum events, and when you realize it, you realize what's happened. You'll let the energy take you. A lot of times in the past, we've been afraid to be taken. We
Yeah.
don't we don't want to be taken over by something. But during that event, like I was telling Billy, it was the first time I had all of these different entities in my head and ideas that were coming to me during that event that all had something to say. And I wasn't alone. It wasn't me talking to the world. It was the world talking to myself. And we were all together in oneness. And to feel that many people, over 8,000 people, now I think it might be almost like 10,000 people who are coming together, actually to use that blueprint that's within every cell, to become the God power, to use what you have initially as the stardust energy that we all have. We all have it. We are the ancestors, and rather than looking outside for what we desire, we began to tap into what was inside. And while the event was happening, I was having to do that myself. And shift happened to me. Something came to me in the event, and it broke me open. And I saw a whole new level of life, a whole new level of work, a whole new level of play. And now there are so many people who are supporting us from around the world. The calls that are coming in, people who are having shifts, people who are having emotional outbreaks, who, were in an emotional prison. Those things are
Emotional
happening.
prison. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people are in emotional prison.
That's what the fuck? That's the next video. Emotional prison.
Yeah, the
A
emotional
lot of
prison.
us. I've been in that prison before.
Exactly.
I know exactly what you're talking about, brother.
Yeah.
Damn, that's deep.
Yeah.
You ain't even gotta. That's gonna be a video. Emotional prison.
It's huge.
Wow.
Once you realize you're in it, and you realize that, first of all, you were the arresting officer, right? You put handcuffs on yourself,
Yeah.
right? You went to see the judge, who was you, your attorney, the prosecutor, the jury. It's all basically you in your head. And when you realize that you're the jailer, you're the warden, you're the prisoner, you're the cook that, when it's time to eat, you're everything.
Yeah.
Once you realize that, you have this key, and that you could simply turn the key and open up a prison cell that you've been in, the emotional prison cell, and step to a new place and open up a whole new frontier. So you've got to be able to move into that dark space where there's nothing, where everything is. It's the space between events. It's the space between you and the next moment, you and the future self. When you realize that you're creating on the fly, everything, and a lot of it is repetition from the past. It's what you've heard, what you believed. You were programmed to believe in struggle. You were programmed to speak the language of struggle. And see, your language can be your lockdown or your liberator. We're going to talk a lot about language in God Power too. We have to get to the language that creates superconductivity. When you realize that you are able to give away all of your energy and receive it all back instantly, just like the sun, just like these elements in electronics, this is what they do. They're able to give it all away and receive, but you got to be open to receive. But if your hands are closed all the time, and if you're in trauma mode, you keep recanting and rechanting and telling the same old story, the story comes back to haunt you. So this is like a ghost that should be dead that comes back to haunt you. So when you break the cell open and you say, I'm ready, I'm willing to be free, and you're willing to let it all go, that's when everything changes. But you also have to realize you're going to have to leave a lot of people behind, a lot of habits. You see, habit is like, that's what the clothes the nun wears, like a habit, right? That's your outfit. So a lot of times when we get to a place, we meet somebody, we start talking about all the problems we have instead of all the beauty, all the love. So we're here now, Billy's having this situation here today with Elizabeth for her birthday, and everybody's talking about building. It's all builders. We have to become builders. And if you have a dis-ease, we got to figure out how you can be a part of the team by helping you turn your dis-ease into ease. That's by becoming a superconductor and speaking the language of empowerment and speaking from where you would like to go as if you're there now and being grateful in advance. That's the magic. And that's what happened during the God Power event. I took it to the next level within myself. I was given this gift to be grateful in advance, because everything shifted on that day. Everything shifted. And then the days right after that, when we went into the real Christmas, it was amazing, because it was in this particular year, at this particular time, all these things happened that have never happened before, you see? And now, depending on when we do this God Power, there's another event about to happen, which is how we met. When we met, there was an event happening with Sirius and the sun and the earth lining up, which is about to happen again, but it's going to be a quantum leap this time. So we're going to take advantage of all the things that are happening in the cosmos that are actually leading us to this next step. This is our evolution. Evolution has not changed. Evolution is going to the next level. It is evolution that's going to the next level. We are the evolution of the next step. We have to become it.
Doc, I want to get to the juicy stuff now that everybody's waiting to hear you talk about. Your name is Dr. B Sirius. You talk a lot about entities talking to you, the cosmos. What the hell is going on in our skies right now? There's meteors flying around everywhere. They say they weighing 1,000 pounds. There's so-called UFOs being shot down that people, obviously the government ain't shooting down no real UFOs, but there's just so much attention toward the sky, more than there has ever been than I can remember. Dr. B, talk to me about what can you tell me from your personal, I don't want to say personal experience, but from your intel, from your cosmic intel, what's going on in the sky right now where all this attention is fixated on the sky, my brother?
It has to do with where we are in the universe right now. We're in a place that we've never been before. We have never been in this place. This is not the same Earth. That's not the same sun.
Like
That's
not
not the
even
same
ancient
moon.
Egypt's been in this place before?
No one,
Sumeria,
nothing.
the
This has
Anunnaki?
never.
Wow.
But because we're here, we have an opportunity to do things because we have the sum combination of all of our ancestors within us.
Yeah.
We know it all. Once we're able to cut out and divide the stuff we don't need. See, it's a lot of stuff you don't need. So if you're a chef and you're cooking, you need to know what spices to use and which spices not to use. If you're making a chocolate cake, you don't use banana flavoring, right? You have to know exactly what spices work with the material. So we have to become the seasoning. What we're being prepared for is contact. We are being prepared. The contact is happening. Because we're in the photon band, we're able to see things in the sky we couldn't see before. These things have always been happening. They're just happening more rapidly.
Right.
Things are speeding up.
Right.
Things are happening more quickly.
Right.
Events are happening back to back to back to back.
Yes.
So if you have eyes to see it, you can see it. If you have ears to hear it and feel it, you will realize that we are literally creating a new cosmic space. We are asking for it. We've been asking for it. So here it is. So we're getting signals coming from the cosmos, signals coming from our cosmic brothers and sisters. So we are not alone. Everything coming from another planet is not something evil coming to eat us with with sharp rat teeth. You understand what I'm saying? It's funny because we're in Boca Raton right now, and it means the teeth of the rat. That's what Boca Raton means.
Wow.
Boca means, teeth or mouth, and Raton means rat. So we have been taught that if they come, they're going to be gray with big heads, and they're going to be evil and floating you out of your car. Well, who told you that? That's what the movies gave you. And some people do have that experience. But actually, we are star people. And what we're about to realize is that we are visitors too. Each one of us we are spaceships. Your Merkaba is a space vehicle. As above, so below. That is your golden sphere of energy. That's your flower of life. We have always been it. But what's happening is the DNA that was latent, that they call junk DNA, is coming online right now. People are feeling it. People are having events that they've never had before. Look, during the God Power 1, when we were doing the exercise, the SOAS exercise, there were people in Mexico who were at the shore and they started seeing dolphins. And when they stopped doing the exercise, the dolphins went away. They started doing the exercises again. And the dolphins began to say, yes, yes, yes. Because the dolphins are basically the nomos, from Sirius. They know everything and they're connected on another level. Their brain is 4 times bigger than ours. And when you start raising your vibration to the place where they can communicate with you, they do. The same thing happened in Australia. Well, a little bit different. In Australia, at the time when the people were doing the cross crawl exercise, when I was showing them that, they began to see, ships in the sky and formations and sacred geometry. As this was happening, the star beings are saying, yes, this is the time. This is the time. Jimmy was in the woods and he saw lights. No, everybody's seeing lights.
Right.
So what we're seeing, creatures. So all of the things that you see are not just something coming to take over your world. Most of these things that are coming right now that you're beginning to see are things that are coming to help your world. We are at a place where we're coming together in a way we could never come together before. But we've got to first, get rid of the language of disempowerment and struggle. We got to stop judging people, get rid of this whole cancel culture and this drama story that we keep telling ourselves every day. We got to create a new story. We got to become superconductors. We got to learn how to conduct our lives and be conductive and have a daily practice, something that you do every single day that propels you towards what you desire, your goal. You got to become goal-minded. And once you become goal-minded, you're going to see all kinds of things. Because even as we sit here now, and we're on your YouTube channel, what's happening is there's entities all in this space that you're not at the right vibrational rate where you can see them. There's things, there is no empty space. There's something everywhere. There is no space where there's nothing. Everything is everything. Everything is living. Everything is alive. Once you begin to broaden your spectrum, once you begin to stretch your mind and get out of your human programming and realize that we're cosmic beings, we always have been, and we're just visitors. We're not from here. We're from where we're going. And where we're going is a brand new place. And we're saying, everybody, let's ride together. We got to be riders. You got to be ready to ride. You see, and when you're riding, you begin to activate that blueprint. And you begin to use that blueprint to what? Become the God power. So God power 2, God power 1 was just the setup. That was just the beginning. So where we're going now is the next phase, the next level, the next degree. We're changing that angle and we're going in deeper, but we're going to give you more of what you can actually use. A lot of the concepts that we've had for the last 20 years, they've been deep, but how do you use it? How do you actually use this deep knowledge? We've become very intelligent. We've become very, we study. We know. We know all about everything, but guess what? Can you do it? Can you activate it? So now is the time to actually activate. You see, we talk about who built the pyramids and how they rose the stones. Well, you could do this once you get out of the rat race, once you get out of TikTok. I'm not talking about the app. I'm talking about the mindset, and start breaking out of the cell. Once you break out of the emotional prison, everything changes. Stop letting folks hurt your feelings. You have to allow somebody to hurt your feelings. Somebody made you mad. You allowed them to create a feeling of anger within you. When you say, I allow, everything changes. We allow a lot of things. And even though we think our life is happening to us, we're going to get to that point where we realize it's happening from us. So what we're seeing in the skies is happening inside each of us, because we're planets, we're universes, we're omniverses, each of us. And we have something that, we are in charge of this universe. It's a universe. It's your space. So what's happening in the sky that we're seeing is happening in all of us. And no, they're not just shooting down balloons and what you think it is. That's how they always get you to look one way, so you don't see what's really happening, because the same thing is happening in the soil. The same thing is happening in the water. We're at a place, right, on the 26,000 year calendar. We have never, us here now, we have never been here before. So we're going to see more entities. And some of the entities within you that have been keeping you down are going to become outities. You see, you got to get some of this stuff out of you so you can get more. Otherwise, if you give away everything and don't take on the right new energy, entropy happens. This is when things implode on themselves and your whole life begins to fall because you're not expanding. And expansion sometimes takes breathing. It takes eating a certain way, walking a certain way, thinking a certain way, and making love out of the things that are not love in your life. That's alchemy. Turn the things in your life that shouldn't be there anymore into things that you can use as fuel. So it's like composting in the garden. You take the scraps and all that, and you make it into fuel. You make it into fertilizer. So we've got to fertilize our ideas and make them grow. And every thought goes into their subconscious, and it begins to grow, because the subconscious is like fertile earth, and it is waiting to be pregnant and impregnated with your ideas. So let's change our ideas. Let's come together. Let's do this. We're going to take this one to the next level. The first one made history. Nothing had ever been done like God Power 1. This is what I keep hearing. It said you made history. And that's another reason why I feel like I've had a shift in my life, because now we've done something that will be around forever. And each of us, each one of you listening, is actually creating something that's never been created before. It's not a matter of good or bad. It's just we're all very creative people. We're creators. So we got to become procreators. You see, you create what you desire. You see, live the life you would like to live as if it's happening now.
You know, Dr. B, we always hear about these extraterrestrials giving the government technology. And this is how they got, America got, an advance on technology from the rest of the world. Do you think that the melanated, just like the Nomos talked about the Dogon, telling them certain things, because we are in this spot in the universe where we're able to see more than we usually see, do you think now is the time where our galactic brothers and sisters will come and give us technology that the world has never seen before? Do you think it's the time for that now?
It's happening. It's already happening.
Happening.
We are the star people. We just went through the door of. You're far from the center of the galaxy. You can't pick up that radio station as well.
You see, static.
It's static. You're not sure.
Yeah.
So now we're moving back towards the center of the galaxy, and guess what? We're awakening. Everybody. You don't have to be conscious or have sage or meditate to do it. Everybody's stuff is being turned up. Everybody. So if you're being disagreeable, you're probably more disagreeable now than you ever been. If you're being agreeable, you're being more agreeable. Because right now we're at this place where the star people within us are coming online. That is in us. Some of them are not extraterrestrial entities.
They're
You see what I'm saying?
They're
Extraterrestrial entities. They're entities within us.
But they will be projected outwardly.
They will become, and we will find out that we have everything in us.
And that if they give us technology, it's us giving us technology.
It's us giving us technology. Who do you think came up with the technology? See, the tricknology is when you think that they were given this stuff from these ancient aliens that came. What you don't realize is some of us are the ancient aliens that are still here coming, because there's no time. Once you get out of time and realize there is no real time except what you believe time is, you see, that's a construct of your mind. When we focus on what we would like, you see what I'm saying? That activating reticular system in your head, it actually brings you more of what you're focusing on. But they used to say, give me more of what you funking for. What are you thinking for? What's your motive? What's your motivation? What would you like? You see, we talk about a high vibration, but what does that really mean for a lot of people? A high vibration. This just doesn't mean you talking all positive and you wearing white clothes and you doing this whole thing that you think is spiritual. We're all spiritual. We're all having an existence in a body, and they can't figure out how the heart beats. They don't know anything about us, really. When I say they, I'm talking about the scientists. They haven't figured this thing out. It's a miracle. So when we start thinking about the cosmos, there is a cosmos within us. As above, so below. So all of it's happening in us, and we change our dimension. We change the space. We change our reality. We change our vibration based on our thought process, our breathing, how we play. And we got to be very careful, because what we think of now, because things are turned up so much, happens really fast. Because it's turned up. So that's what we're seeing more in the sky, because you're looking for it. It's always been happening.
That reticular activating system. Whatever you look for, you get more of it.
You get more of it.
Now we are looking. Now we will see more.
Now we're going to see
They have
more.
always been there.
Yes.
But now we are ready for contact.
We're ready
God
for
damn
contact.
it, nigga. I got it. I got the download you gave us, Dr. B. I got it. I was listening. Was y'all listening? I got the download. Wow. They've been there, but now we are here. Somebody said what you're seeking is seeking you.
Yes.
Yeah. The fire, man.
Yes.
Yeah, see, you got me, man. You gonna have me up here at nighttime looking in the sky, like, come on, nigga, where you at?
That's right.
Show yourself.
That's right. That's right.
Man. I mean, this is great stuff, Dr. B, and we are in truly some amazing times. You and Billy, a magnificent job with the first workshop. Your courses, your herbs, even the flower and essences. I hope I'm saying that word right.
Yes.
That a lot. I don't hear a lot of people talk about. That you had me buy a book when we was in that store. Could you talk a little bit about, for those who may not have heard you talk about, the importance of flower essences and how they were used in ancient times?
Well, flower essences, because flowers are the highest expression of a plant before it becomes a fruit.
Okay, say that again. That's deep.
Flowers are the highest
Highest
expression
expressions of
of
a
a plant
plant.
before it makes a fruit.
Wow.
So that's the highest expression. That's the most high. They are kind of in this dimension and in another dimension.
But wait a minute. I'm sorry to cut you off. If flowers is the highest expression, by the time it becomes a fruit, is that a lower expression than
That's
the
the
flower?
baby. That's the
Hold on
baby.
now, Doc. So which is more powerful for us, a flower essence or a fruit now?
They're different.
Oh,
Fruit is more physical.
yeah.
The flower essence is an energy. The flower essence is the energy around the flower that's going to attract the bees. You see? That's what attracts the bees. You see, the flower essences, when you use them, they reconnect your. See, we have all of these broken energies. We have the static. We have these beams and energies based on our ideas and based on our feelings, and these waves that we're creating that sometimes are out of order. We're not in order. It's not coherent. It's incoherent frequency. It's distortion. These flower essences, each flower connects to a certain emotional thread that's coming from the cosmos. They don't work on the physical body, flower essences. They work on connecting you energetically to the star so that you can, like a lot of folks have trouble dealing with their more feminine side. And we're talking about a female person. We're talking about being more open, more loving, more giving. Because a lot of times we grew up hard. And, we heard how hard it is. We became fighters and warriors. We got to fight for it. You got to battle for it. When actually, sometimes all you got to do is some gentle idea wishing and sending in energy out there in, we're going to just call it the wishing well, and waiting for it to come back. You see, we weren't taught some of this, so now we're teaching it. Some people say, well, how come we weren't taught this before? Because you couldn't get it before. It's here now. But these flower essences, they reconnect you on an emotional level. They work on the emotional body. And that's where a lot of the work needs to be done, is the emotions. Because sometimes we got too many emotions about something that's not even our business. You're all emotionally upset about something you heard on the news, and the news is hanging you. You weren't there. You don't know what happened. And you made a judgment and everything. You went out and voted and everything based on an emotional choice, based on around a fear paradigm. So we've got to get back to love. And one of the flower essences that helps you with love and being more open is hibiscus flower essence. Not hibiscus flowers, not the juice, not the tea, the hibiscus flower essence. A lot of people have become hardened because of trauma, and they really can't feel. They don't want to feel. They've become hardened. Their heart is hardened. When your heart is hardened, you can't step into the desirable things that you'd like in life because your heart is too hard. And we replaced all this heart energy with thinking, figuring things out, being very intelligent, being able to blow people's minds. You know what I'm saying? We're always trying to be deep and so hard. And we need to tell everybody everything, and we need to be the life of the party. We always got stuff to say. We're wearing the loudest clothes and showing the most jewelry and talking the most because we're covering up something. So what flower essences do, there's many of them. There's thousands and thousands and more being, discovered every day. They help connect you emotionally to who your original self is. So you can get rid of the egregor. See, an egregor is like a being that was created by ideas of people. Check this out. So there are people that we actually worship and everything that never existed. But so many people believe in this person or this thing or this idea that it's actually taken a life form. It's an egregor. It's an idea or something we cast and created that may not have been physical. But what you don't hear about is the egregor personality. When you've created this personality, which is a false personality, based on your life, based on what you've been through. So What we're working on now is becoming more authentic, becoming the author of your life, become the copywriter. You become the publisher of your life. So now you can look at this person and this personality and become a real person again and speak truth to power, speak truth to yourself and listen for what it is you truly desire. Don't even speak. A lot of times, we talk, we haven't even been asked a question. We always got talk, 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 talk. We're getting into the time of being. You see, we're in the place of being. And what flower essences do, they help you deal with your emotional self so you can be more of the being that you choose to be.
We're talking about flower essences and an insect. I can't help. I don't know. Are bees insects? Are they considered?
Yes.
So we have the bees, and I got a couple of questions about bees. Such an important aspect of our lives down here. That small little bee. They're called bees. We're called bee in. There's got to be some type of connection. Words aren't words for no reason. Just like heart and earth are very similar. And then we're finding out certain things about the connection of the earth and it being the heart of the universe or whatever. Talk to me about our connection with bees.
Well, a really good television show.
Queen bee,
Yes.
all of that. Yeah, go ahead,
Yes.
go ahead.
A really good television show was The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Uh-huh.
Really good show where they break this down, where we're related to these beings that are bees. It's interesting. I have a very good connection, to bees because they call me Dr. B Sirius. They said, well, where does the bee come from? Well, actually, I was stung by hundreds of bees once when I was cutting the lawn, and there was a hole, and these bees came out, right? And they were stinging me. And my father, the same thing happened to him. So he saw it happening, and he wasn't coming out there because he didn't want to get stung, but he told me what to do. He said, stop and breathe. He said, breathe and become one with the bees. And I stopped running and screaming, and I just stopped because that was all I could do. And I began to breathe with the bees, and the bees began to make the bee sound with my breath. And they stopped stinging me. To this day, I have a very special connection with bees because bees don't necessarily fly, they levitate through sound.
Steve.
They make a hum, like the hummingbird, its body is too heavy for those little teeny wings. It's levitating. Bees, a bumblebee can't fly because the body weight is too heavy for those little teeny wings. They're levitating through tone, through frequency. You can levitate through sound, through tone, through vibration, through frequency. The bees have a certain frequency, and they're all tuned to the frequency of the queen. If one of those bees gets out of line, they don't even get a second chance. She stings them because the beehive has to be perfect. It has to be the right temperature, and it can't have any microbes in it. Every flower that the bees go get pollen from, they're told by the queen exactly which flower to get. If they change up and become individuals, they could destroy the hive. And what was happening years ago was, hives were being destroyed from all the, insecticides and stuff that they were using on crops. So it was causing what they call a beehive colony collapse disorder. When you have the collapsing of a colony, it's because you've taken the woman and you've put her in a place where she no longer is the center of the village. You've destroyed the woman, and her thing is she's knitting the fabric of society. She's giving the birth of the children. So a lot of the angle that we're on has to do with where the woman sits. But there's been this whole thing since Rome that the woman is not important. That she's weak, she's this, she's that. It's man basically created fear, right? And fear was not an original sense that we had about life. We weren't afraid of the wolves coming to eat us because the women had a frequency they were humming, and they were singing when they were, making food, whatever they were doing, they came together. And those women created a vortex, a bubble, an archway, an arc, that would carry us all. Now, if a wolf or a bear did come, they knew how to deal with it. But men basically, I guess, maybe us men, we didn't have enough to do. So we needed more to do. So we began to create more to do. We wanted to be in control. So now we have this world where the man right? It looks like man or masculine energy is running the show, but we're running this thing, we're running the earth into, it's like we're killing ourselves, not the earth, but ourselves. We're destroying the society. It's too, we are having colony collapse disorder as we speak. The old world is dying, but guess what? There's a new world coming. Once we open our hearts, once we start becoming, more intuitive instead of so intelligent. Once we start feeling like we start realizing that we should stop raping the planet and each other and trying to beat each other up and trying to, trying to show who's got more power, and just work together as a community, as a oneness, and get rid of the lines. See, those lines got blurred. Let's talk about blurred lines. And it's funny because we as a people on the planet are all on the planet. We got to work together. But you're beginning to see that. And every time you see one of these great tragedies, so they just had the big tragedy that happened overseas, right? With the earthquake.
Yes.
Think about all the people from all over the world that came to help. All the people come out when there's a great tragedy. Because what happens is when there's a great tragedy, the feminine, loving, open, magnetic side of us comes online. We become more nurturing. People do acts, they do acts of heroism. They go do something they never would do before, run into a house that's burning to get a child out. That actually is not something that's so masculine. It's actually because it's twisted now, what we think is masculine and feminine, because we've been controlled to think it a certain way. But it is more loving when you care about your brother and your sister, no matter what they look like, no matter what they did in the past. That is more of an intuitive, loving, open, magnetic way. We don't have to give any more energy to the masculine because it's been so strong for so many years. We got to look at the bees and look at the ants. Those are the most perfect societies. And we've got to start looking at that woman. She is the economy. She's the one that's going to make sure that we can make it. You see? But we've also got to get to the point where, the women, the older women begin to come together with the younger women. Us men, we can't be involved with that. And realize that we've got to create that hive again. We got to create that village again. We got to create a new culture. But this one has to die. So we're beginning to see the fall of this society. It's the fall of man and the rise of feminine. That's what's happening right now. And the bees are essential. Now think about this. It was like, 3 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, they said all the bees were dying. Everything was going to end because the bees were dying. All of a sudden now we got more bees than ever. Bees are everywhere because the bees weren't dying. They were hiding because some of these frequencies were, they had to go learn how to adapt to these frequencies. But the bees are being, and they're being in such a vibrational state that they elevate. My question to you, what tone, what frequency are you emitting? What is your movement? How do you flow? How do you walk? How do you fly? How do you levitate? What is your frequency, your tone? Because your tone and your frequency with your actions, with your talk, with everything that you do is creating the energy that could either elevate you or de-elevate you. You see, it's all in your tone. It's in your frequency. And your frequency is your acts. How are you acting? How are you being? To be or not to be? That is
the question. Speaking of bees, I seen something interesting the other day. I think I was watching Gaia TV. Was it Gaia? I'm not sure. It might have been Gaia. And they said that the frequency, the sound of the bees buzzing, their wings buzzing, it could kill cancer, or it could kill bacteria, or it could kill something. They said. That sounds like some amazing shit because they was talking about cymatics and using sound frequencies to heal. So to use an example, they gave the example of the bees buzzing and how that could be a healing frequency. Now I heard people listen to frequencies, but I never heard anybody listen to bees buzzing on tape. That might be some new shit we gotta try, Dr. B. Bees buzzing on tape and we just listen to that for 8 hours while we sleep. That might, man, we might break through with some shit with that one, Dr. B. What's your thoughts on the bees buzzing, the bzzz, and that being able to cure disease or kill bacteria?
Well, it can work either way.
Uh-huh.
I used the sound of bees in my medicine music.
Oh, you do that?
I actually put my hand in a hive in the bushes and
Yeah.
record it because they don't sting me anymore. I have a
Oh.
connection with them. And I recorded the sounds of the bees. But I was so calm that they weren't attacking, so the frequency of their sound changed. What they do in horror movies, right, for soundtracks, is they go take a hive and they disrupt it. And then they record the sound of the bees attacking, and it's a different frequency. And when you hear that sound, it could be, very low in the soundtrack of a movie. They use it in a lot of horror movies. It actually causes you to feel fear. Your blood begins to pump, you begin to send out, your blood becomes acid. You see, your adrenaline rises, your cortisol, because they're using the sound of attacking bees.
Wow.
I use the sound of bees in a whole balanced state, and I put it in my medicine music, especially the ones, what is it called? I can't even think of the name of my medicine, but my medicine music projects that are on, at elevationtime.com. That music, some of it has bees in it. It has water. It has crickets. It has the sounds of nature along with music in a peaceful whole state. But yes, bees have very powerful, special, they have special things they can do. They're special, how should I say? They're crafty. Check it out. They build things, the nest and everything. Look at the hives, how it's based on the flower of life. It's based on 6 points, 6-sided, sacred geometry. Did you know that bee venom, when you get stung, the venom is putting out a sound. And what is hurting you, what you're calling poison, it's a liquid that is putting out a frequency that causes you pain. I've actually watched the bees and watched when the bee stings you, it doesn't want to sting you. It's going to die. You see? But what happens is that bee venom frequency is causing a sound which alerts you and puts you in an emergency state. It puts you in an emergency state and you focus on it, and it's a poison. But it's a frequency. Everything is a frequency. Everything is a frequency. Everything is a frequency. Everything is a sound. Everything is a tone. Everything is a color. So the bees are very important. So when you say Dr. B Sirius, you see we're talking about the star Sirius B, but we're also talking about being. Being. See, I grew up as a percussionist. So I always had to be there. I had to be in a special place in between the drum beats, in between all of the instruments. My thing as a percussionist is to create ear candy. These special little things that you create inside the beat, they create a tone, they create a frequency, just like the bees. The bees are actually, it's a drum beat. With the sound the bees are making, if you slow it down, and I've done this actually in the studio, if you slow it down, it's actually like a drum roll. If you hear a drum roll and it's fast enough, it'll make a hum. It's levitation. So we have to
Oh, that's some deep shit, Dr. B. Wow.
we have
Whoa.
to be more like the bees and be who you came here to be and stop mimicking. See, we're into a whole lot of mimicry and we're modeling and acting instead of being our original selves. Our original selves are really powerful and we're timeless. Once we get out of the spell and the nightmare and the daymare for some of us and get out of the emotional prison and become bees again and be the best you can be. And be means right now. You can only be right now. You
Right
can't
now.
be tomorrow. You can't be yesterday. So you have to be here now. And you have to be in the God Power 2 event. You must be. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. It's coming.
And we're about to get out of here, Dr. B, but I'm glad that we're having this conversation because right before we did the God Power 1 workshop, I talked about being versus doing when I was on Billy's show. And I talked about everybody has a to-do list, but not a lot of people have a to-be list. What am I going to be today?
Whew.
I'm going to be courageous today. We got a to-do list that's long strong as hell, Dr.
Yep.
B, but nobody has a to be list.
Man, that's
So
powerful.
in this new realm that we're going in, I think it's time we create more to be lists. Who are you going to be today? I think that's really important.
You see? And once you're a being, that means that you're moving towards a goal and you're being that every day as if it's here now. It's going to happen. It becomes a being.
You know what Esther Hicks used to say? She used to say, the fastest way to getting what you want is to take the emotional journey. And by that, she meant just feel good. Simply feel good.
Simply feel good.
Simply feel good all day as much as you can. Just milk it. If you got a good feeling, milk it, Dr. B.
That's right.
And you'll be where you want to be in no time because you're already there. But it will show itself in your quantum movie or quantum TV screen as real soon as long as you continue to be who you say you are. So, I mean, with that being said, Dr. B,
With that being said.
with
See?
that being said,
That being
Dr.
said,
B,
Dr. B.
Dr. B, my name starts with a B, Black Magic.
That's
B.
right.
we
It's
go.
all B's.
We go.
Billy Carson.
Billy
There's
Carson.
another B.
Dr. B, Billy Carson, Black Magic.
See, to be. See? And if you see, to be or not to be. If you're not being, you're not in the moment.
Indeed.
If you're being, you can only be
Only in the moment.
Let's be, y'all.
Being only exists. That's yo. You drop some shit today, brother. You can only be in the present.
And we're in Boca Raton. Being. We're being here. Be the bees.
Man.
Levitate, hum. Have a
Levitate, hum.
frequency that's every day.
Give your contact information, my brother.
I'm
Your
at-
website, everything.
Elevationtime.com, elevationtime.com, elevationtime, time.com. And Doctah Be Sirius on IG and Facebook. That's Doctah, Doctah, the letter B, and Sirius, Sirius, like the star. Doctah Be Sirius, elevationtime.com. And make sure you go to Elevation Time and get on the email list. Get on our list. And you can go to my bio and you can get on it there and be ready because we're going to have an announcement coming up. It's huge. The next level is huge. And like I said, the music, we've got the medicine music, at the website elevationtime.com. And of course, you got to get rid of your parasites, mental, physical, and spiritual parasites. And I do have a book about to come out. So by the time we do this, my book will be ready. The book is going to open and crack this thing wide open so that you can be the best you can be.
Appreciate it, Dr. B.
Thank you very much.
Peace, family.